For as much as I wanted to hate the DCEU, I simply couldn't. Oh, I could acknowledge the fact that they are bad movies, I just couldn't accept that fact. The tangible connection that I have to these characters is unprecedented to the point that I have an uncomfortable bias. The first time I saw Man of Steel, this got the better of me. I projected the hope that Superman embodied for me onto a movie that, while sound, wasn't very hopeful. I couldn't even properly review Batman vs. Superman because the bias was there on my shoulder, clouding all the judgment that I could have. I still watch that film wishing it were great, but every time I slowly realize that it's not. Suicide Squad did not work on that bias. I hate this movie. I hate it so much that I couldn't even apply that to cushion the blow. This is a tease, a film that promises something bigger and better than it really is, and that disarmed any favors I could give it. The original vision for Suicide Squad seems to be something lurid and nasty, something you would never see in a PG-13 movie, so this film just seems to be running away from it the entire time. David Ayer, a talented director, throws hints of the manic energy that could have inhabited the film, but all of that seems to have been killed in the editing room. Notice how fans started to say that they didn't want DC movies dark anymore. Notice how I even said that at one point or another. Well, this is what happens when a studio or a director takes that and misses the whole point of it. The film feels like it's desperately trying to embrace the manic energy of films like Harmony Korine's Spring Breakers, but is also trying to stay as light as Guardians of the Galaxy. Instead of landing on either side, the film falls right in the middle, feeling really confused and joyless. The only moments that seem to rise above the pack are the moments that hint at the crazed but totally not PG-13 mania that the luridness provides. There's an early scene in a club where Joker, Jared Leto, and Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie, take out another gangster that hints at some crazed depth and psychology to their actions. Harley, over-sexualized, draws the gangster into a hysteria, and then the Joker shoots him in the face at the peak of his desires. It's a moment that just hints at what could have been Ayer's frenzied cutting, Leto's wide-eyed eccentricity, Robbie's sexuality on display in almost a toxic way, all of it combining to create a baser feeling. But the film doesn't let that ever cut loose. It never could. Here's what we have instead. We have a scrambled film that never provides proper character motivation, or at least none that sticks. We have a film where most of the exciting footage in the trailers isn't even in the freaking movie. We have a film that looks down on its audience. Oh, you can't handle villains like Heath Ledger's Joker or Loki in the Avengers? No, take a green dude who wants to destroy the world. Oh, you can't handle the absolutely psychotic whims of Jared Leto's performance? Cut him almost completely out of the movie and cover what he is part of in garish music to appeal to the teenage girls in the audience. They think Jared Leto's attractive, right? Want to see Katana? Well, you have like 3 minutes of her doing stuff, and Karen Fukuhara really trying. Captain Boomerang gets even less to do. There are so many character moments sprinkled around this movie that seem to just be surface things, never suggesting to deeper characters. The movie also just downright takes an intermission to explain El Diablo, just so it can desperately make us care when he's killed off. At least Margot Robbie, Cara Delevingne, and Viola Davis are well-oriented enough to drive a scene, but others like Joel Kinnaman and Scott Eastwood are completely useless. Deadshot is set up for an arc, but in his big moment, much like Batman in Batman vs. Superman, he betrays it. The action chops of David Ayer could have at least made it more intense and gripping, but the rotting tone and horrible action kill that prospect. Ayer's previous hard edge brought to his magnificent fury has all but disappeared here as he stages fight scenes with enemies that blend into the background of sets. The images of our heroes swinging at what looks like thin air are laughable and unexciting. The DCEU has failed. There is no doubt about it now. Wonder Woman will fail. Justice League will fail. Warner Brothers will fail. If something this promising can crash, even while containing a truly well-studied performance by Leto, 2 cool cameos for the fans, and a glimmer of hope, then it's all going to fail. R.I.P. the DCEU.